Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. And tonight, guys, this is our legend segment. And I'm your host, Bobby Butler. And tonight, hey, listen, we always talk about football. We talk about all these things. But we got some basketball legends from Delray Beach on with me tonight. Guys I played high school ball with. I'm going to start with the senior guy here, Mr. Chuck Jones. We got Chuck on. Chuck, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you very much, bro. It's always a welcome, and it's always a blessing to be alive with some good guys, man.
We appreciate that, man.
I mean, some guys that I went to war with. They went to war with me, and we will always be brothers.
That's right. That's right. And then we got the guy, the center. This guy was, let me tell you guys, when you're talking about fundamentally sound, he had great footwork. They always talk about Elijah Wan. They always talk about the big guy, the Celtics. What's his name? Kevin McHale?
Kevin McHale.
We had Issac Ford, and he was the man in the paint. I welcome to the show, brother.
What's up, man? Thank you, man. I appreciate it, boy. I couldn't ask for a better recommendation than that.
Hey, man.
I got my boys all from Carver Park. It's just like being at home, man. Just like being at home.
What's up?
House. Moe Wesley.
And then we got the guy. This guy always tell people, I played with some great athletes in my day, but I ain't never played with an athlete like Moe Wesley until I met Deion Sanders.
All right, Bobby.
Moe, you done been on about 3 or 4 shows. Welcome to the show again tonight, brother.
Hey, thank you very much, Bobby, and happy holidays to you and Ike and Chuck, man. Love you guys for life, man.
Thank you, man.
Same to you, man. Same to you.
Well, let's start out this way. Now, y'all know we were all in high school in the 70s, right? And y'all know, in basketball, we did some really good things at Atlantic, especially the class of 76. We did some really good things. But before, let's clear this air. Who had the best afro on the basketball team back then? let's start with that.
Well,
Who had the,
it wasn't me.
who had the biggest phone?
You look at, hey, Bobby, you looking at it. There you go. You're the Moe Wesley.
Hey, Moe Wesley had a phone, didn't he?
Hey, it was very close, Bobby.
He go the first thing he go to is that mirror.
I wasn't the only one in the mirror. That mirror 5 deep.
Hey, man. Hey,
right, Moe?
hey, Big Ike. Now, in basketball, it was a little different, right?
Yeah.
So one night, this was Moe's senior year. We was playing somebody in Atlantic, and we were all in the mirror. We had our shoulder pads on. Yeah. We picking our afro, because we put the helmet on. We want to comb it out the back, so that's out the back. And Coach Wilder came by the mirror and saw us in there. Oh my gosh!
He had a fit, I bet.
Oh, what? Coach Doball wasn't gonna say nothing. Josh Smith wasn't gonna say nothing. Tom Francis wasn't gonna say nothing. But Wilder had a cardiac arrest that night, bro. Y'all not even thinking about the game. Yes, we are. You just don't know. We think about it a different way.
Yes. See,
it all matters. Look good, play good.
It all matters. Look good, play good. There you go.
That's right.
Yeah, Coach Doball, he always wait till we get on the court. As soon as you turn the ball over, make a mistake, then he tell you about that afro in the mirror. You know what I'm saying?
That was him.
You got to concentrate.
That was him. Well, listen, man. Let me start with this. Let's start with Chuck, man, because Chuck was 2 years ahead of me in school. Mm-hmm. And Chuck was a year ahead of you guys. Yeah. But a lot of y'all don't know this. Chuck Jones actually should have graduated in your class, Moe and Big Ike.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Think about that.
Yes.
What? He was a young baby, huh?
Yes.
Think about that. Think about that.
Come on, Bobby.
Think about that.
Come on, Bobby.
Think about that.
Playing Little League baseball with us out there.
What?
He was out there playing with us.
Come on, Chuck.
I played a full year of college football at age 17, a full season.
Wow. Okay.
That's about
Because Moe, you should remember this. I was still playing Little League with you.
That's
and Jap, because Toot Mitchell and our team and your team were the top 2 teams. You and Jap played shortstop and second, and Toot Mitchell and I played short and he played second. And those were the top 2 Little League teams when Red Odom actually got the league going. And I actually played for Red Odom, and Moe played for the Brown Bombers for Mr. Kirkwood.
That's right.
What was the name, Moe? The Bombers.
Brown Bombers.
But hey, Chuck,
Uh-huh.
what I was looking at, man, you talking about you played kind of ball
Football.
at age 17. If you could have played with us our senior year,
That's what I'm trying to say.
Bobby has already gone off on that.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I ain't know that, Chuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Chuck Jones, let me tell you something. Hold on. Let me tell you what Chuck Jones cost us. He cost us a state championship in football. He cost us a state championship in basketball. Because that year we had it, Chuck.
I know.
Yeah.
So we beat.
I know.
In that class, we beat North Shore twice in basketball.
That's right.
We beat Suncoast twice, which was number one seed.
That's right.
And messed around and lost a fluke game to Carter in the first round of the tournament.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Suncoast went on to lose the state title game to Tallahassee Ricketts.
And you guys beat them twice, right?
We beat them twice that year.
And we had to beat them twice.
We beat them twice and beat North Shore twice.
That's right.
And we beat Lake Worth that year. Come on now.
Oh no, you beat Lake Worth. You were on top of your game because that's
4A. We were doing work. So think about it. Now think about it. We had Big Ike playing the center, right? Mm-hmm. We had Steve Cornelius playing the 4.
Yeah.
Right? We had Norris Lee playing 3.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Pure shooter. And we had Moe, and we at 2, we had Jap at the point.
Yes. All from Carver Park.
But Bobby, that team that you just mentioned, we was playing together since first grade.
Yeah.
And developed. And then plus we got that year, well, the year before Chuck played with us, but that year, Bobby, it was just amazing.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
It was
amazing. And then we went to Pine Grove with Bunny, our coach. We ran all through that. Remember Moe Civic Center? We just ran through that from 5th grade with Bonnie being there, 6th grade. Oh, yeah, we just ran through each every year.
So you might well say y'all was playing AAU basketball because y'all played together all the way up.
All the way through, yeah.
All the way through.
That's crazy.
And my 1 year difference, and because we live one block of 9 houses from in the front of Carver, I didn't go to Pine Grove with them. I went to Spady. So I never played basketball formally until I got in the 9th grade. And it was about 60 guys went out for the team. And I was the only freshman that made the team and started.
Wow. Now, Josh Smith was your coach, right, Chuck?
That first year was Chuck Smith.
Okay.
My first year in the 9th grade. Then in the 10th grade, Moe and Jap was, Ike might have been on that team when y'all were freshmen on the JV team.
Yeah.
And I played about 4 or 5 games. And I was moved up to varsity, and the next week I was starting. And then at the end of the season, the following year, here's Moe and Steve being pulled up because I was a junior, and we almost beat North Shore for the district championship there. We were up by 5 with like 3 minutes left and lost to Curtis Brooks and that team, won the state. We lost
Conrad Jones.
Yeah,
that's right.
Chuck, let me tell you this. Chuck, let me tell you this. And this is funny. Conrad Jones was on this show one night.
He and I know each other.
And Conrad talked about how y'all almost beat them that night.
Yeah.
And he especially talked about Moe Wesley. He said these young cats thinking that they couldn't do nothing. He said, next thing you know, we caught ourselves in a situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, he never forget that night too.
Yeah.
He never forget that night too.
Bobby, the talent that developed up in that area that time, I mean, we had great athletes to look up to at Carver, and plus we had a couple of athletes in Carver Park that went to Seacrest and running back. And
right.
We were trying to, be just like them, right? As us growing together, man, that team growed, but no one ever knew that. I don't know if it was mentioned, but we were the first team that ever won a conference at Atlanta High School.
Yeah, in football. In basketball.
They had some great ball players, man. They had Baxter Grisman, Price Boys, Rick Roden. They had some great talent. Those boys from Boynton, Jimmy
Hare, Allen.
They never won the conference. But we were the first team, and you gotta give credit to Toe Francis and head coach Reggie Dobard.
Right.
Our coach.
And let's throw in Coach Smith now.
Oh yeah,
Coach. Hey, Coach Smith.
Coach Smith is the one who brought you up.
That's right.
That's right.
Hey, man. Hey, listen.
I remember that warm interest when you told when I came up. You ain't come to sit on the bench. You came to play.
That's right.
I played the first game, man. I played the first
Bobby,
game.
one of the most beautiful things I used to love to do is with Jap and Moe was we would always try to trap people and play real hard defense. That's something we didn't play just offense. We were great individual defenders.
Right.
And there was this time where I would tell Moke at time, him and Jack, hey man, y'all do your thing.
Right.
I'm just gonna rebound, defense, get the ball to you, let it go.
Let's go. But Chuck, think about this. I want all of y'all to think about this, right? Let's talk about the talent individually, right? Everyone on that team, those years, right?
Right, Bobby.
We only had one guy on that team that never played football.
He's sitting in here now.
No, Big Ike started playing football.
Oh, that's right. He came after me.
That's right. Well, he played at Carver Middle School. Ike, tell me your story about you in football and why you had to stop playing football.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you my love. Y'all ain't gonna believe my love with baseball and football.
That's right. That's right.
Chuck used to complain I
That's
throw
right.
curveballs in Little League.
Are you saying I was illegal?
No, you was the right age, brother. But listen, man, that was my game, man, with football and baseball. And it's just that, my old man had a landscaping business, so I try and work around to be able to play sports and did both. So when I got to Carver Junior High, that's the one year when I went to Carver Junior, I didn't play basketball that season. I said, well, okay, I'm going to do the football. This is my first time. And, man, we had a good year. Mutso, me, we got, what's your name? Charlie Wheel was our quarterback.
That's
Delka.
right. I remember the helmet.
Yeah. You got Delka was the head coach there. And so how Wilder know me by going in the freshman, how Wilder know me was Caesar. Bill Caesar was the coach.
Right.
And Caesar told Wilder, and Wilder came and talked to him, and I told him I would love to play. I said, but it was hard because I was working and stuff. Even the baseball coach. What y'all baseball coach know?
Jay Rader.
He came and talked to me and also, but I said, well, I'm going to stay with basketball because all of my friends, so I'm going to run with my friends all the way through from grammar school all the way up.
Right.
But I played a little bit of both. I played a little league baseball, and then I played basketball the rest of the way, all the way through,
Right.
But it was good. It was fun, man. I had a good time,
So everybody on this show played football.
Yes. I just played early.
But now, so check this out now. So when we had the baseball show, Mo, Rhett Talbot hit me up after the show.
Okay.
And he said there's this occurring theme in the show all the time, right? What is it? He said we always start talking about football. He said we always go back to football. Yeah. Well, it's Delray Beach, right?
Exactly, Bob. It's in all of us, man. We talk about athleticism in the Carver Park. You got to talk about football, basketball, baseball. It's not just one sport. Right. It's all sports. Yeah. We played all three sports in one day. I mean, every day.
Yeah. That's right.
That's what we did.
That's normal. So it's like,
So,
Bobby, where we grew up, what was a beautiful thing that we in the Carver Park area knew, it could be a Saturday, it could be the summer or whatever. We used to go under the stage at Carver when the place was closed. I'm talking weekends, anything. Mo, am I right?
That's right.
And play all day long and sweep the place up and clean it up before we left. There was never a problem.
That's awesome, man. Hey, so check this out. So when we talk about Carver Park is basically how many streets? We're gonna say 3?
1, 2, 3.
Right?
Yeah,
one on the east side, one in the middle, and one on the west side. Right?
3.
Those 3 streets. All right. I'm gonna start naming names, and if I miss something, I want y'all to Toe Francis.
Oh yeah.
Button Francis.
Yes.
Right.
Bill Francis.
Bill Francis.
Yes.
The whole Cornelius family: Robert, Juan, Charles, Steve, Gene,
Randolph Brooks,
Gene,
and in the middle street with
Alfonso, Tony,
Yes.
Barry Hill.
Kevin.
Barry Hill.
Yes.
Yes.
Barry Hill.
Yes.
Moe Wesley.
His brother.
P-Row.
Yes.
Bobby Brown.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Alfonso Blocker.
Yep.
Mutt Lee. Mutt Soul.
Yes.
All right. Red Odom.
Yes.
All right. We got Brooks.
Both of the Brooks boys with Floyd and
Luther Mosley. Alex Sayfield.
Alex Sayfield. Bobby Heat.
That's oh Lord.
The Heat family. Oh Lord.
Yes.
Hey.
I thought you were finished.
Hey, bruh. And I know I missed somebody.
Norris Lee.
Hey. Hey, Tom Smith.
Okay, wait, hold it. We leaving Melvin Zip Wallace out of
here.
That's
right.
You can't leave him out.
Hey, we don't left a lot
Wait,
of
hold it. We left Block out because Block played during my time.
That's right.
Block played on 2 teams with me.
That's right. So them 3 streets right there.
That's why you got to call them in. The whole Carver Park territory, the whole complete territory.
Look at him.
All them play.
Just to name those guys, that's special in itself. The concentration. And then Chuck Lear, right. Might as well say he called Paul. He right down.
He right there. That's right.
He right there. And then we started naming guys down there, the Grizzly boys.
That's right. That's right.
Abraham Wooten.
14 could hold his own. Southwest 14 had some players starting with Ronald Mack.
Now think about that. So that was the level of street ball we had to deal with growing up.
Every day.
Every day.
That's what people don't get. How come those guys keep turning? Well, that's what we had to deal with.
Right. And then when we learned to play baseball, playing tennis ball, Bobby, in the middle of the street.
Right in the middle of the street.
Tennis ball.
Right in the middle of the street.
Tennis ball.
That's right.
We started with
a broomstick.
There you go.
Hey, Bobby,
tennis ball.
Bobby, it was so unique that when the center opened down, when Tuck Center opened, it was a complete thing, and Moe gonna laugh off of this. to get on that ping pong table.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
And to get into those bumper pool table thing.
That's right.
If you lost, you had to wait a long time.
A long time.
You had to wait a long time because there were certain people you had to deal with.
Hey, the competition.
You're done.
Very competitive.
But let's get back to basketball. Let's talk about basketball. All right. So Chuck, my 10th, your senior year, Ike and Moe junior, my sophomore year on the varsity. Your last year. I don't know what it was. Now, let's think about the era. First of all, there was no dunking allowed in the games.
Right.
We had no three-point line.
Nope.
Right.
But we probably bust the clock. And when I say bust the clock, ladies and gentlemen, I mean score over 100 points. We probably scored over 100 points, 4 or 5 times that year?
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. What was it? Was it the pace of the game? Because we were fast.
Because we trapped and jumped people. With those guards, and I was that third person. Those two would wait till somebody get close to half court, and they would wait and funnel him to a little side. They would double team him, and I was the jump guy. The jump guy would always sit back and wait for the pass because if they came to my side, Jack would push him over. Moe would jump from the other side. And that's what we were doing to people. And the 3 of us have all our lives have competed against each other so hard, not just being offensive players. We prided ourselves on playing defense because the other guy you playing against all our lives would humiliate you if you wasn't on top of your game.
Well, see, that's the difference, Chuck. You said a mouthful of that. See, that's the difference in the game today. Because everybody wants to score points, and everybody can score baskets in here, right?
Yeah.
But if you're playing against a dude, the only way you're gonna be better, you got to stop that dude. Yeah. You have to play defense.
But I'm glad you brought that point up, man. That team, that's 1916, and Chuck team, a year too. We did score like 104 points for a game. Probably my senior year too. That's a lot of points for a high school team. But look here, you got 6 players on our team who could have gave you 30 points in the night.
That's true.
6 players. We got to play off the bench coming in.
Right.
OTC's a freshman. He had 30 on you. And plus, we running and got big man in the middle.
Yeah,
Even Ford was running.
We were running, bro.
If Ford wanted the ball, he had to run.
He had to run. Because I'm going to tell you right now, every time I got the ball on an outlet pass,
y'all can't forget the game.
And I was getting down that free throw line waiting.
The game was me to rebound, get it to you, and you give it back to me. That's
and let's go.
We're running. We're running. But we were running.
It's good.
We're running.
We had the best team in the state of Florida, without a doubt.
Right.
And Bobby, if you don't remember, Bobby, I got to bring this up, Bobby. We had just lost the state championship football game on a Friday night. That Saturday morning, Coach Dobar gave, sneakers and told you to break it to about how we going to play Saturday morning.
That's right.
And lost last night, but we played that game Saturday morning.
That's right. But
everyone.
And we won. You know,
then Bobby, I starting five led the team in double figure, the starting five. Senior year.
That's right.
Starting five was
That's
double
right.
figure.
Everybody's in double figures.
Everybody in double figure. You don't get
great
that
team.
Great team.
So tell me, all right, so let's talk about it. All right, so we know Big Ike, we know what you were. You were a rebounder, you were a guy who could catch the ball, put a defender on your back, and you had good footwork and you could just make layups, right?
And around the basket, anything around the basket.
I mean, you can do that. And he was left-handed. Right?
Yeah.
He was left-handed, so he was kind of awkward to some people, but he was giving the business. And then we had playing the forward. Tell me about Steve Cornelius' game.
Oh man, Steve, boy. Steve, he was like another help to me. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was, because Steve playing the 4, I'm playing the 5. So it was me, basically me and him would doing the dirty work. Right. But we know we had Moe or Jap out on the wing, ready for the fast break. You feel me? But Steve was a bad boy. But y'all know that in every sport.
No doubt.
In every sport, Steve was a bad boy.
Yeah, Steve was a bad boy.
Yeah, it was good, man. But we just lost him a couple months ago.
Yeah, man. That was tough for me.
But Steve was a bad boy, man.
Yeah, he's a bad boy. All right,
it was good.
I gotta add to Steve too. Give him credit where credit is due. One thing about Steve, he's not going to ask for that ball inside. He's going to go, he's going to be some rebounds, and he'll go get rebounds. He was like an unsung hero. Steve will sneak 30 points on you, and you won't even know he had 30 points.
That's right.
It's those little things he be doing, and was so humble, man. But Bobby, remember now, we didn't have 3 points back in the day now. And
that's what I'm trying to tell you. We didn't have a 3-point line.
Yeah, would have been incredible, Moe. Moe, you would have been incredible.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
You would have been incredible. I call it like I see it, bro.
He wasn't no joke out there in that 3-point line.
I can hear Ford now to like, come on in,
man. Man, Crowley was a bad boy. Norris.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Listen.
Absolutely.
Norris Lee.
Shoot the ball, man.
Norris Lee to me was the purest shooter.
Don't forget about Norris.
I agree.
He was pure.
Hey, the boy was radar. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, he was automatic.
He was radar.
Yes, sir. He was, man.
Matter of fact, Moe, you remember?
He was our
watch
shooter.
this, Moe. Remember, we had to force him early on to shoot the ball. He wouldn't shoot when he first got on the team.
That's right.
And we at one point said, "Look, dude, what you do in practice, what we've seen shoot the ball."
Shoot the ball.
He was our shooter in the corner.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Hey, we overload that offense. We get that ball down to Norris Lee. Oh, you can count it. Bam!
Yeah.
You can count it.
And then you throw in one of the most gifted young athletes that I've ever seen. And I asked Bobby immediately when he asked me to come on here, I wanted him on this show. And I have never told him how I feel about him. But Bobby will tell you the first person, even though I already knew Moe and Ike was coming. I knew you two were coming. I was hoping Jap came because he's the quarterback.
Right.
He was our leader in his own way, where the standpoint from we knew what our jobs were, but we followed him.
Right.
Okay. But Timmy Cornelius, when Timmy Cornelius grew into the player that he grew into, man, it was one of the most beautiful things to watch because of his body, how it's built, those long arms, and his leaping ability.
Yeah,
that's a different level, bro. We didn't see a Timmy leaping all our lives.
And
he can shoot the basketball.
And he can shoot the basketball.
Yes.
So Chuck, I want you to imagine.
Level.
I want you to imagine Timmy, and we all know this. Timmy high jumped 6'10" in the 10th grade.
Right.
All right. So we know what kind of athlete he was. All right. Think about when my senior year, he was a junior, and dunking was allowed.
Yes. Yes.
I wish y'all could. I wish y'all could have seen that.
I saw one game.
You saw one game. I wish y'all could have seen that. He was special.
I saw one game.
Yeah, he was special, man. He was special.
Real special.
Now he was a guy that I used to beg, almost cry beg to get on the football team. It was Tim Cornelius. Bro, I want to have nothing to do with that football. I said, come on, Timmy, man.
Yeah, he would never play. Yeah,
we can make a lot of music together out there.
Hey, Bobby, you remember the other day you and I talked?
Mm-hmm.
I want Moe to answer this question for me.
Because
if anybody know, he would know. We used to play out the Carver all the time playing football as little kids and everything. Mm-hmm. If Willie Barnard could have played some slot wide receiver, Moe, tell him what you have. You could not guard him. He gonna catch the ball. I'm telling you, man, he could not run me. He could not run Moe, but he always could get away.
Get open, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so now see, I've never seen Jack play football ever.
Oh man, the dude he just didn't like it.
On our Carver Park team. Yeah,
he just didn't like it.
But everybody played every sport back then. You had to play.
Yeah, that's right. That is true. That is true. Yeah. Now, one sport never called my name. That was baseball. I was so happy just to be in the stand watching everybody play.
I love that game. Baseball was good.
But when I got in middle school, I found track, and the rest was history after that. Right. Yeah. And so that was my calling. I was supposed to be out there. And so I got a chance to I had the long jump record in middle school for one season until Timmy came behind it and smashed it. Right.
Tell who helped work with your technique, because I was in high school and heard about it. Come on.
Mr. Pompey.
There you go.
Mr. Pompey.
Worked on one-on-one with him.
Yeah, he did. He came out there.
What was it? He put a hurdle in the front of you.
To tell you what he did. No, at the old Carver, around the field, the old fence when they used to have a fence. Right. And that time there was really no fence. It was just like it was broken, all that kind of stuff, right? So he got a wire and put this wire on the gate up high, and he kept setting the target back, and so I had to jump over the wire. So, and I'm scared if I miss, bruh, I'm going head first down that dirt, right? And so that's how he had me, and he taught me to get height when I started leaping. And he really helped my long jumping. No question about it. And then when I went to ninth grade, I long jumped 22.11 as a ninth grader. Wow. I went from an 18.9 to a 22.11 in 1 year. Mr. Pompey. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, Mr. Pompey.
No doubt about it. But so let me ask y'all this, because one of the things I used to love about our basketball team, we were a fast breaking basketball team. Mm-hmm. We were football players. We get that ball, that outlet, we were gone. Right? We always, because we had speed on the perimeter, we always gonna have numbers, right? And I can remember everybody on here leading the fast break. Chuck was the fastest in the school, right? We all know that, right? I was out front. Mo Jap, we all can lead the fast break now. Mm-hmm.
Right? Everyone.
and one thing I can say, no team in the county was as fast as the Atlantic High basketball team. Nobody.
I agree 100%. And then that gave us the advantage. We always gonna have a 3-on-2. And Bobby, I'm very seldom we pulled up and set up a play, because we always going for 3-on-2. That's why we scored 104 points. We ain't pulling up and setting up no play. That's what we got 3-on-2. Somebody. And the open man take the shot. Anybody could have put that shot. All 3 men or layup. Exactly.
And see, that had a lot to do with us busting the clock a lot of times too, because we were getting easy, simple baskets. Mm-hmm. Easy, simple baskets.
Yeah, them was good old days, man.
And then we talked a little bit about Jap, but Jap was a true floor general, man.
Oh man,
Jap.
He was a coach.
Man, he was a coach
in his mind.
Jap was a true quarterback on the basketball court. hands down.
Oh yes.
And you know, it's the most amazing thing. Jap could have played any role on the basketball team because he could shoot the basketball.
Yes,
right.
He didn't want to.
He didn't want to because he was busy.
He wanted to feed his partner to my right.
Distribute the ball, yeah.
That's right.
Hey, I had to get over.
Distribute the ball.
So Mo, let me ask you this question, man. Because I know back in the day, there were some games when you played with your fro busted. There were some games you played in plaits. I remember we was playing somebody one night. You had your fro busted, and the hair was in your eyes, but you couldn't miss the jump shot. I'm like, how did this dude see the rim? How was you see the rim?
I do not remember my hair being even out. I don't even think about no hair. I don't know. I'm trying to win the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get down a court and score. Yeah. I don't even think about that.
Oh my God, that's crazy, man. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we had a great basketball. So let's talk about Toe Francis. Let's talk about Toe Francis because Toe grew up at Carver Park.
Yeah,
we all grew up watching Toe play basketball and baseball at Carver. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Then he went to college. He went to Eastern Kentucky, right?
He went to Kentucky State.
Kentucky State. That's right.
University.
Kentucky State.
HBCU.
Which had a great basketball program.
3 national championships in a row.
Damn. Wow. Think about that.
Wait, hold it. Let's dig it. In his senior year, I think they win the 3rd one in a row, and who becomes his mentor in a little way was Bill Russell. Bill Russell pulls Toe to the side. He see this thinking man. I was told when you played for him, he was a thinking man.
Right, that's right.
Mo, if you remember, when you were brought up from the JV your sophomore year, and you were thrust in, and Coach Smith finally gave in and said, because we had been getting beat by North Shore and Pahokee, all of them were blowing us out at times, and we finally got Bill to play his brother. He did.
That's right.
And he put that 2-3 zone in. Mo, you remember that 2-3 zone?
Absolutely.
And Toe was the type that, I'm telling you, this man should have been probably a college coach for the information of how he taught how to play defense, how to play the mind game. This man knew. I'm talking about if you played him back in those days, he was an older man, and he whooped you to death.
He'll whoop you to death. He'll whoop you to death. That's right.
Physically, he whooped you to death.
Physically whoop you to death. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. But Toe was special, man.
Hey, great athlete and great coach, man.
He was the baddest offensive lineman on the football team, defense and offense at Carver when he was there too.
A lot of people don't know that, Chuck.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that about him. He was a great football player as well. Right.
But he might not have been the best athlete in the family. His big sister might have been.
Janie Mae?
Janie Mae. Come on, Mo, with that softball.
Hey, Bobby.
She was a legend.
Athletics back then was like a pandemic, man. Everybody did. It wasn't just for the the women got down. The women got down too.
Hey, it was
they were just beginning to start competing.
Right.
Janie Mae, like in the softball, you know all the softball teams they had back then.
Right.
You remember the women's game?
Women, right.
But they didn't have girls basketball back then.
Right, they didn't. Well, now they did at Carver.
They did.
But
they years did. Before.
They did. You're right.
Right.
You're right.
Because I mean, I got a list of I got this information from Carver. As a matter of fact, I need to send all 3 of y'all this stuff. Y'all would love it. Talking about the Carver High sports program from 1944 to 64. Wow. List every player, every team, every sport. It's great information. Matter of fact, I'm gonna email it all to y'all. Y'all can sit down and I'm saying you're gonna have fun with it. You're gonna see guys. You're gonna see guys like on those pages that you never knew played ball in Delray. You just assume that Jake Pullum just owned the gas station.
But I wouldn't be surprised though, Bob, because
Jake Pullum was a monster. You think Bump Mitchell was just some glorified Pop Warner coach?
No, he was
a police officer.
Yeah, he was a
quarterback.
Right? Bad quarterback.
A bad dude. He's a bad dude.
Tuck.
Right. Bubba
Tucker. No, Tucker on another level. Come on now.
Yeah, Bubba's on another level.
Bubba Tucker is on another level.
And then one guy that nobody ever talked about that much while he was in high school, but he got a scholarship at Edwards Waters College. And to this day, he's still the only football player ever drafted in the NFL from Edwards Waters. And when he was in high school, he played tight end. But in the NFL, he was an all-pro running back, Jim Cannonball Butler.
That's right.
No. All those guys played. He couldn't even get on the field at running back at Carl. Think about that.
I think he was in the era with my brother.
He was in the era with your brother.
Yeah, my brother was the running back.
So let's talk about that, because this is the craziest thing about Delray Beach. We got so many athletes. The line is just too long.
Yeah, football especially.
So especially football. So I look at our group, right? Now, the one thing we did have, we had the Delray Rocks. But then when you start talking with Red Odom, you start talking with Bill Caesar, you start talking to those guys way back in those days, early 60s, they had to get on the football team and just wait their time and get beat up for years. I'm talking about get beat up.
3-4 deep talent.
I mean, Kelly Brown was talking about how Barry Hill would be like an 8th grader trying to tackle a Grisby dude. He said,
Anthony Grisby.
And he said, man, I give Barry props. He never stopped trying.
Bobby, did you ever see Anthony Grisby's calves?
Bro, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
If you saw his calves, you'll understand why Barry was not tackling him.
He was a monster.
Bobby,
so
you talking about the competition level there. Imagine all those guys at Boca when we was in school were coming to Carver all in one school. How deep we would have been. You know what I'm saying? Imagine that, Bobby. Okay.
So we would have had the same problem that
Bobby.
Carver High had.
Too many athletes, man. Too many athletes.
Well, think about this. Let's talk about the mid to late 60s, right? When there was a Seacrest and a Carl. You had great players like Dennis Matthews, Rock Matthews, Simi Taylor, Ronnie Mack,
Dwight Allen.
Doug Davis. I mean, we can go on and on. They had to play at Seacrest because there's no playing time at Carl.
Right.
Think about that, man.
And they had great seasons too, because the last 2 years, Seacrest, I think their regular season record for the last 2 years when Carver won back-to-back championship, for the regular season, the last 2 years, they were 19-1.
Something like that.
They went 10-0. No, they went 10-0 the last year, just like Carver winning the championship. They lost to, I think, Merritt Island.
Somebody like that, right.
Yeah, to this dude named Leon Bright.
Do you know Leon Bright?
I know exactly who he is.
Florida State.
Florida State guy. Yeah, Florida State guy.
Yeah. But that dude had about, from Merritt Island, he had about 30 or 32 touchdowns his senior year.
Oh, he was a
Merritt Island.
He's a bad dude.
He was a bad dude, man.
So we talk about that. And so when I think about Delray, we talk about football all the time, but the football players are very athletic, right? So we look at a guy like, let's look at Ronnie Mack. Ronnie Mack, maybe what, 5'7", 5'8"?
About 5'8".
Yeah.
You give him 5'8"? All right. Yeah. Ronnie Mack, before Tim Cornelius came to the high school, had the high jump record at 6'8".
I know.
Think about that. Think about how explosive he was. Bruh. So, we were athletic. So it's another reason why none of us played one sport. We're just so athletic.
And your idols played a lot of sports.
Your idols played a lot of sports.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. I walked in the gym one night when I was a little kid with my cousin, Edith Bennett at the time. She's Edie Pitts now. And she took me to a basketball game. And immediately I saw Barry Hill was the one, right? Barry Hill could not be stopped on a basketball court, right?
The greatest basketball player ever came out of Delray.
Barry Hill, right?
Yeah. You lead the state, in scoring 32.1 a game for a season, and your last game you score 51. Come on, man. Come on. And he was not Moe. What would he have done with the three, Moe? What in that corner?
My God.
Thank you, Moe. I heard you earlier. What would Barry have done with the three?
Oh my God. Bobby, The location, you talking about Carver Park, the location of Carver Park was just perfect. That's why we turned out the way we did, man.
Right.
We had a good, I mean, we had so many activities going on around us daily, man.
That's right.
That little, and it still exists today, that little place. I go back to the Carver Park. Right. That little space had all those names that you called earlier, man.
Right.
And it's just amazing with the type of athlete and kind of basketball, man. It just, and then Chuck, your street too, Chuck.
Oh, I know.
The great athletes,
up and down that street, the deans, all of them.
Well, all of them. All of them.
Hey, listen, I mean, just loaded. And so from a Delray standpoint, see, guys in Riviera and West Palm, they play basketball.
They play basketball, Bobby.
That's what they do.
That was all the championship was coming when we was coming up.
That's what they do.
A championship came through Delray. You know, that's why we want to win a championship. That was our goal. In all three sports.
You know, in 1968, the 67-68 high school basketball year, Roosevelt went undefeated and won. They won the first state title in Palm Beach County. Roosevelt. Okay. We should always say it was Carver in football. Carver didn't win. Okay. Carver won the state that fall, the new school year. Mm-hmm. When Greg Dotson and all those guys and Abraham Wooten and Pop Grosvenor were seniors, you know, but Roosevelt in basketball went wire to wire and won it all.
But they won about 3 or 4. They won about 3 or 4, and this guy by the name of Greg Lowry was the man at the point for them. He ended up, I think, playing professionally over in Europe or someplace. But the dude was incredible.
Now, they had another guy, Chuck, Ricardo Easley.
I remember him.
Man, them jokers were nothing but the truth, man.
And just think about it, Bobby. When integration hit, that spillover from that last Roosevelt championship team went to Twin Lakes with Carlos Schwang and all of them, with Whitemouth, Donald Burns, and Russell Robinson, and all of them.
Russell Robinson was a special dude, man.
He graduated in 72.
So let's think about that. All right, so those guys up north, and so matter of fact, you know who was the coach of that Roosevelt team that went undefeated? It's gonna hurt y'all right here.
Well, it's the same one that was at North Shore.
Coach Andrews.
Come on, man. I know that.
That's right.
I knew that. I knew that.
Oh, he coached them boys at Roosevelt.
I never. You had to be young then, Bobby.
Oh, he's the young jitterbug.
Well, him and Coach Dobar are around the same age group, man. They are. Coach Dobar and my brother graduated together. They are 14 years older than me.
Hey, well, let me ask y'all this question.
So those guys were young, man.
All right, now Chuck, you seem to be quite knowledgeable. Let me ask you this: did you know Reggie Dobar was an all-conference football player?
Yes, he was in my.
Coach Dobar.
Coach Dobar, DN.
Hey, wait, hold it, Mo. When I was a kid, 3, 4, 5 years old, 6 years old, he was in my bedroom every day with my brother. That's why that night when he got mad at me that night, he said, "I'll punch you in the eye." And your mom and dad wouldn't say nothing because they know who I am. Did I open my mouth?
No,
not at all, because he knew he could get away with it.
Many times, Chuck.
Exactly. All right, Reggie Dobar, class of
61.
Class of 61.
Defensive
end, all conference, 59, 1960, and 1961.
But Mo, I'm finna answer a question for you with that Palm Beach, Riviera Beach basketball thing to Delray. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. For years, until Ike, every now and then one would pop up like Ike, we didn't have height.
We didn't have no big.
Dobars was the tallest people in Delray.
That's right.
Palm Beach always had 6'5", 6'6", 6'7".
Right.
Hey, in first grade, we all were about the same size. But me and Jeff didn't ever grow. I didn't know. I had like a four older brothers, Chuck, Piro, and Sam Lee. They 6'3". They 6'3", Chuck. And they 6'3", you 5'8".
Well, more. I can say this. when God put us together, He knew what He was doing. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, hey.
That's all I'm gonna say.
But God's good. It worked out great.
It worked out great. It worked out the way it was supposed to work.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
No doubt about it. So yeah, so Coach Dobar ended up being our coach for the duration, and then Toe Francis was his assistant, the JV coach.
Right.
And you know, it's amazing. You said something about Toe, Chuck, that's important. He was good enough to be a college coach.
Look, man.
Yeah, he could have been.
I've had a chance, so probably over the last 5 or 6 years that I went back and thought about it. It's hard. It's very hard to do that in football in Delray because you're going to have some old timers who believe in Mr. Cheney, who was a quarterback back in the 60s, who was the quarterback, Joe Cheney's brother. And you had Mr. Bain's son was a quarterback before them. Herman Bain, because I worked for him at IBM. He was my second level manager.
Okay.
And you know, in football, and then you got the Penn era with us. We are kind of prejudiced when it comes to college football in that era because of Anthony Penn.
No doubt.
But basketball, you know, in the annals of football, we do know that Barry Hill, yourself, will always be in that top 2 or 3 because of how your longevity. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a beautiful thing. Moke and I got a front seat to watch Barry because he was Carver Park. I would be across the street at my aunt's house, who was right across the street, Luther's house, right across the street from Barry, and I watched it. And then we had the privilege of playing with you. And so in football, there's a very difficult piece to say who are the greatest football players.
Oh man.
But how you have to do it is you have to put the longevity with it to separate. But in basketball, we don't have any NBA players. So you got to go by what they did in high school and in college. And Toe Francis with 3 national championships.
You don't get no bigger than that, though.
Okay, he is on the Mount Rushmore.
He's on the Mount Rushmore. That's right.
Coach Dobart, because of what he brought to Delray back then with their height and everything, and through coaching there, he's on our Mount Rushmore.
That's right.
Now, the third person that I put on that Mount Rushmore that I will not take his name off because I had the pleasure to coach against him. And that was Rodney Dobar.
Oh, yes, sir.
I was coaching at Pope John Paul High School at the time, varsity basketball. I was the assistant head coach. And that was, you could not shoot the ball in the paint at all. That was gone.
It was gone.
It was gone. You see,
so now you're shooting high percentage shot.
It's gone. It is no one is shooting in the paint. No one.
I love it.
Now, of course, again, Barry could be easily, I could say, is the greatest individual talent that played basketball because his numbers separate him from everybody. Come on, man.
Hey, so like you though, Barry had an opportunity to play basketball in college as well, and he didn't.
But you know what? Barry had a weakness in his game that no one knew because you never could get to that point on him.
Okay.
And I used to tease him all the time because when I got older, I played in a couple of the leagues where him and you remember when the men's leagues used to be playing at the Civic Center?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, when I came back home from college, I played in a lot of those leagues, and Barry was playing with Coach Dobar team and all that with the Frog Lounge.
Okay.
Right?
The Frog Lounge.
And so I am like 16 years old, but Barry is like an older guy, and I'll never forget. He shot like 3 jumpers on me in a row, but he's much bigger, 6'3" and a half. I'm 6'1". You know, he's bigger. And then it dawned on me, I got to make sure I'm close where he cannot put the ball on the floor. And he couldn't dribble as well with his left that he could with his right. He was so good at what he did, it didn't matter about his left hand.
Stop him,
know, some people can go left or go right. You know they're going. James Harden, everybody knows where James Harden is going.
That's right.
Left-handed.
Can't stop him.
Can't stop him. Barry was like that.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Frog. lounge basketball team. That's one of the biggest honors in my life, playing with Barry Hill and Coach Reggie Dobard.
That's right. I played against him.
And me and Jack were playing point guard. We won AAU tournament with that team.
Wow.
And those guys probably, hey.
Wow. And
that's amazing, man. I never forget that experience. Thank you for that up, Chuck.
Now, I'm going to tell you.
Hey, Mo, and if you remember back then, just like you said to Bobby earlier about the women's softball, how they had tournaments all the time, man. I'm talking about Pompey Park had baseball, softball with the women. They were coming from Bartow, everywhere.
Right.
Okay. And then they always had the city basketball tournament where people would come from out of states, man, and play on all these different places, man. Right. It was incredible
time, man. We had some stuff going on, man.
Yeah, all the time, Bobby, all the time.
Well, I'm gonna tell you another guy too. That night I was gonna tell you about. Of course, I saw Barry play, but there was a guy who I saw play that night. Surprised me because I didn't know he was like that. Greg Dobson.
Oh no!
Wrong. Come on, man.
Bobby.
Listen now.
I know him up front personally because I went to the old Carver.
Right.
Mo missed it by a year.
Hey, but I went to every home game.
You saw him play baseball too. You saw him pitching and everything because we was on the sideline watching that when they wrote
football, basketball, and baseball.
Greatest
three. Let me tell you what else he did, Mo, that y'all don't know this because he was like you and Keith Washington, Mo. He was playing baseball games, and they would drive him to the state track meet.
Yeah,
he won state. Incredible. He won state in the 100-yard dash around 9.7 over in Blaze Central. Think about that now. Think about that.
They had about 7, 8 players play football, basketball, and baseball. 3 sports. That was
some of them played 4.
That was the norm.
That was the norm.
Especially out of Delray. Especially out of Delray. We all played 3 sports.
We all did.
Wait, can I ask a question?
Yeah. At least.
Let me ask a question. How do you run a 9.7 in the 100-yard dash back then on a grass track? We didn't have cement. We ran on grass.
You see what I'm saying?
Come on, it was not Stein blocks. They dug a hole down in the dirt. This is a legal track meet that we were running here.
Think about that now, Chuck. Think about that.
But no starting blocks back there.
No.
Hey,
dig a hole in there and put your feet in there.
First time I saw starting blocks, I was at Atlantic.
I never knew that.
Man, what you talking about, man? Yeah.
First starting blocks I ever saw, Atlantic.
Now, Mo, tell me this: what was in the high jump pit to catch the guys?
I can tell you.
I know you can tell me. Mo, what was in the pit?
Laugh.
So the high jumping, they jumped. What did they land on?
The ag man and get some hay and put it out there or something?
No, it's close. Think about the shop where they used to do all of the shop stuff.
Not
that wood stuff.
Sawdust.
Yeah.
That's it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Sawdust.
I didn't know that, Bobby.
Back in the old day, bro.
The whole year?
The whole year. For years.
For years. The whole time.
For years.
We would have bags of sawdust from the kids cleaning up around in the wood shop.
Right.
Bring it out there and put it out there.
Right. Think about that now. It was a different time.
Yeah, different time.
You didn't have a lot.
But getting back, Greg Dobson was playing point guard on that basketball team. I was really impressed. Because you know what kind of running back he was, right? You know what kind of pitcher he was. You knew he was fast. He was breaking guys down off the dribble, getting to the rack, man, and making layups and dishing, passing down to Head Robinson and Sammy Barber and all those guys.
Yeah.
Greg Dobson was special.
Bobby, that team ran so many nice plays. Greg sported in a way, but Mr. Durden was the coach. And
that's right.
They were well coached, Bobby. I never saw a team so well coached when they was competing against. I went on Palm Beach team. Roosevelt. They almost beat them too. But it was a great game. Right. They had Barry Hill. We had a great team.
Roosevelt, Kennedy. Yeah. And you think about the competition back in those days. In our county, they had to deal with Roosevelt and Kennedy, right?
Yeah.
Lake Shore, which is now Glade Central. Lake Shore.
Because Pahokee people went there back then.
Right, that's right. They all went to Lake Shore.
That's right.
So all of them was on one team.
Right. All of them was on one team. Then you had to deal with Ely.
Right.
Then you had to deal with Ely. Because Ely was that.
Dillon in Fort Lauderdale. And then Carver
in Miami. Yeah.
Those are those stud schools.
But Bobby, I gotta ask Mocha a question. I want to make him laugh. Only someone who grew up in that era that know the connection with Mo would say this to him. There was a guy in the late 60s, early 70s that played basketball at Carver, who basically was a JV player for a lot of years, but he was the greatest, most gifted ball handler in Delray, and no one, unless you were from that era or from his family, would know him, because he would put on a show, have everybody dying laughing. He would do like the Curly Neal kind of stuff. Wow. And it is one of Moe Wesley's kin folks.
Oh, Dave Crawford.
Thank you.
Hey, boy.
Mo, am I lying?
Hey, boy, Bobby. That's when I started playing basketball, man.
Am I lying, Mo?
Well, you're not lying. But I'm glad you brought him up, Bobby. I started playing basketball because he used to pick me on his team. He was 6th grade, I was 1st grade.
Right.
And you had to wait a long time for your turn, right?
That's right.
When his turn come, he always picked me.
Wow.
And Bobby, he played on Coach Durden's team. But he didn't start, Bobby, because he was a Curly O'Neal guy. He get the game.
Always was in trouble.
Hey, he get the game.
But Mo, could anybody out dribbling?
He started dribbling like Curly O'Neal. Again, he'll pull up and hit and shoot a shot from half court. Bobby, nothing but nets.
Wait, hold on.
And Durden put him out of the game.
But he couldn't stay on the field, on the court, because the coach would yank him off.
Right.
Yeah. Just like how Coach Smith did Block back in the day. Block used to get in the game and get to half court and let it go.
Let it go.
Hey, Bobby, that's why I ain't will never be no showboat, because you get stacked out the game.
That's
taught me a lesson.
That's right. That's right.
Your cousin.
That's right.
He was a bad man.
Thanks for breaking him up, man. Hey, shout out to
man.
him.
He was one of my best friends, man. Why wouldn't I?
Well,
that man was a good man to me.
Hey, good man. Good ball player, too. Good basketball player.
I'm gonna tell you something. You know, we've had our time tonight, but we gotta do this. We gotta do this again, Chuck Mo.
Hey, thank you, Bobby.
We gotta do this again. There's so many different combination of things. So Chuck, we're gonna do and Mo let you know this too. We're gonna do a track show real soon, hopefully in the next month. And y'all will be back on the show, and we're gonna talk about track, Delray track, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, represent Delray. Delray strong, man.
And then Chuck, another thing I want to do, I want to get all the tailbacks, all the wingbacks at Atlantic on one show together. You know,
hey Mo, seems like he can bring wingbacks or defensive backs. You and I gonna be stuck together again, right?
Be stuck together the whole time, right? Hey, every wingback was a corner.
That's right. That's right.
Every wingback played corner. Chuck, Luther, Mo.
That's right.
So how did I become a corner? Because I was starting at safety when Bobby Butler came onto the football team. He was not starting at that moment. I was playing right where Bobby was playing. How did I become a corner?
I was starting his 10th grade year, Chuck.
Oh, the 10th grade. Yeah, I was 10th grade.
It was probably safety though. Safety wasn't Bobby.
I played safety.
I played safety. I was starting at that position, and Rudolph Owens got hurt with his knee because he had played on the team for 3 years, and they moved me up to corner, and then Bobby slid into my position.
Right. And it was a wrap then.
And we talked.
But you know what though? I gotta say this to Chuck about you before we get off the show. Chuck Jones took care of me at Atlantic High School.
That's all right. I
mean, he always looked out for me because I was always a little kid playing up, right? Man, I'm thankful for Chuck Jones being in my life. Man,
me too, Bobby. Me too.
Chuck been blessed with both of you guys have always.
I always thought you were older than those. That's why I gave you the space.
Y'all the same age.
Yeah, Mo, what if Bob? When I told Bobby that a couple of days back,
I didn't sleep.
He was shocked because he said, "If we added you with Moke and all of us,
what?
Can you imagine? Listen, can you imagine?
What?
You being on one wing and Chuck on the other wing. Because see, Chuck played the opposite wing of you, Mo. He played the right wing. You know?
I ran the 29.
Well,
you
right.
ran 21.
Chuck gonna be there. Chuck gonna be there. He gonna be on that wing. He gonna be on that wing. You better bet he gonna be on that wing.
Let me tell you what Chuck did. Let me tell you what Chuck did. And I used to be on the sidelines watching him. It was the most beautiful thing. Nobody ran the counter like Chuck Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Now the counter?
I know.
Chuck,
528.
Let me tell you something. 528 counter. It was a beautiful thing. I wish you could have seen him on that sideline.
Well, that's every game.
He high knees.
Mo used to talk to me all the time.
High knees are behind. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's why, hey, Bobby.
Uh-huh.
To be honest, that's why I was on the bench my junior year. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want to say it.
Stop it, man.
It is what it is.
Let's tell the truth. You were good enough to play at that point.
Ain't no doubt about it.
Okay?
Ain't no doubt about it.
Because that team came up after that big championship type team.
That's right. The next year.
The coach never knew how good we were. Because, Bobby, if you remember, when we played Glaze Central, and we tied that game, I do owe everyone something because late in the third quarter, I did step in the front of a pass and I dropped it because I was looking down and we would have flat out won the game.
We won the game.
Because I scored the only touchdown in that game.
And you know they won state that year.
No, they did not.
Did they go? They went.
Yeah.
They lost.
Listen. Back then, we were in the same conference with Belglade.
Right, Glaze Central.
We finished the year with the identical same record that they had in the conference. We lost to Vero, which was a 4A school and was a number 3 team in the nation. We lost to them.
Right.
7-6 or something like that.
Right.
But Glaze Central played Chaminade in the district. Right. And that was when David Schuler, Coach Schuler's son, was playing.
That's right.
And a big fight happened after the game, and during the game, and they cut the game short with about 3 minutes left because the Glaze Central people say, well, I mean, when you look at the statistics, I think it was like 15 penalties to 2.
Wow. Yeah.
And people in Belglade were not happy, and they played down in Chaminade.
Well, look, man, that's our show for tonight, man. We're over our time. Hey, man, thank Chuck, Mo, Big Ike, wherever you are. Thank you for being on the show. We appreciate you, man. God bless you. Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you like the show tonight, comment, share it with your friends. I'm your host, Bobby Butler. This is our legend segment, 100 Yards of Football. The great Moe Wesley and the great Chuck Jones. Thank you.